Hey there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Monday pod of Born to Be a Star. Today is another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power. Today is Monday, the day after Sunday. It comes too fast and ends too slow. I think there needs to be a law that makes Monday just like the weekend. So it can just be a part of the weekend. If I could just work Tuesday through Saturday or Tuesdays through Friday, and I did not have to work on Monday, that'd be great. This is a 3-day weekend, just no Mondays. It's just dreadful in every way, in every regard. But I try to wake up every day by saying happy whatever day it is. But today was just forever long, and it felt like it was never going to end. But it is ending, and now we're getting into the podcast. So let's get to it. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I enjoyed my weekend with my husband, getting lots of things done. It was a weekend off outside of church on Sunday. Didn't have anything planned over the weekend. It's kind of nice when I don't have to go to the hair salon or the nail salon. I can just sleep late on a Saturday. It's kind of nice. I will not experience that this Saturday, but I look forward to the next Saturday that I do have off. Every day is an opportunity for us to have a great experience. And this weekend we'll be bringing Benny to the salon, so that's going to be fun for him. And he's going to get taken care of like he always does, because he's a Yorkie teacup pup, and he deserves all the best treatment in the world. But the weather is not great. How's the weather where you guys are? I'm in New England, so the weather's constantly changing here. But it's supposed to be like spring, and it feels like winter. Like, I'm literally freezing, and the heat is off. So I have on blankets in the house. And it's very weird. I don't know. This is one of these days where I'm feeling like we need to chop some wood and get to that. But that can't happen either, because I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment. Why? This is why we probably need to look into renting a house instead of an apartment. So if it gets cold, you can just go cut some wood and put it in a fireplace and make some heat. I don't know, just thought. Anyways, after the fact that I'm freezing, let's get to the mantra. So every day is a reflection of where you've been and where you're going to next on your stardom journey. And you spend the morning looking in the mirror, preparing yourself to get ready for the day ahead of work, likely whether you're in an office, at home, whether you're traveling for work and you're at an airport. I'm sorry if you are. Whatever the case may be, you really do need to take a moment to look in the mirror and learn to love the reflection that you see. It's very difficult sometimes to love who you are and to attempt to replicate something that is not you. But we have to try to love ourselves. We have to try to be better versions of ourselves than we can be. And that's okay. Every day we should start off our days by looking in our mirrors, wherever those mirrors may be, by saying to ourselves, yes, we can have a great day. Yes, we can try something new. Yes, we can learn something different. Yes, we can be better than we were yesterday. Yes, we can stop apologizing. Yes, we can learn new languages, learn different instruments, whether it's the piano, the violin, the cello, the flute, the trombone, or the clarinet. Yes, we can learn more about soccer and golf and tennis and sports and art and knitting and sewing and crocheting and painting and discovering things we've never heard of before. Yes, we can travel. Yes, we can get into an RV and drive around the entire United States of America. Yes, we can decide we want to switch our major, or maybe we want to decide we don't know if college is for us, or maybe college is for you. It's just not at the place you are at right now. Maybe you want to do something different than you've ever done before. The idea is saying to yourself, yes, you can, so you can complete it without wondering about it. Following the idea of yes, you can, because you can do anything, is the idea of never giving up. Now, we all know life is difficult. Bad things happen to good people. And sometimes that leaves you in a very weird, precarious place. It's not fun. But we all have to deal with it. The best way to get through difficulty could be dealing with it. Maybe the best way to deal with difficulty could be persevering through it. Just because something bad happened doesn't mean you have to accept the moment and let that momentum bring you down with it. Just because someone said something to you doesn't mean you let that discussion take you away from who you are. Now, I get caught up in that all the time where somebody says something to me and then I might lose my self-confidence and I might think, oh my God, I suck at everything. Now I got to change everything about who I am to be this different version that makes somebody happy. But becoming that different version that makes somebody happy isn't who I am, right? It isn't. It's a fake replica of me. Cancer, bad relationships, bad friendships, bad managers, horrible bosses, horrible employment, horrible school instances, horrible experiences have a tendency to tell you that you don't have anything to believe in. And I am here to tell you that you have everything to believe in. It is important that we fight for the great lives that we want ahead of us. The idea of never giving up is persevering through difficulty, through what doctors are saying or people are saying or whatever the moment is providing you, and getting through it. Because it's difficult and it's not fun. The idea of never giving up is you fight through the fire and the pain to get to the other side of it because you know what it's worth. There are doctors and nurses and Army Reserve, National Guard, Marines, and the Navy and the Air Force. There are EMTs and firefighters and police officers and 911 call center employees and so many others, doctors and nurses working in emergency rooms that are sacrificing a lot of things to protect others. And when you think about all those that fight for so many others, you have to wonder, aren't you a part of the fight too? Never giving up is fighting for tomorrow without actually seeing it. If you don't persevere through difficulty, I don't know if you're going to get to the other side of that. That's the truth. We have to find a way to get through difficulty. Sometimes that's easy and sometimes it's hard. We've all heard bad things. We've all experienced bad moments. But we have to recognize that those bad moments are going to lead us to great tomorrows. Moving forward from the never giving up, we move into the stage of why not today. We do know procrastination and indecisiveness is not our friend. Taking too long to make a decision is going to backfire in bad ways. It doesn't take you a long time to accomplish things, whether it's a dishwasher or a wall to paint or your car getting fixed or accomplishing something that you need to get done and you have a deadline. If you don't get it done, when is it going to get done? If you need, this is why you have to structure your life with appointments, and you need to have some sort of momentum with being fully aware of the time that you actually have available. That's why it's so essential to plan ahead and be prepared for life. If we don't do that, if we don't organize things, if we just let everything be psychotic and crazy, do we actually think we're going to get to where we're trying to go? Because we're not going to get there. It's not going to happen. If you don't do things and plan effectively and do things the correct way, they're never going to get done. And I know we want to talk about the fact that things are going to work out one way or another, but are they actually? That's my question. What are we actually doing? That's where we are, isn't it? The idea of why not today is getting the things done that we need to get done so we can move forward in our lives and take the next step toward whatever is next for us. The idea of why not today is not procrastinating because we cannot buy time. We can't control it. And it's not something where there's a button to press for it to work or not work for us. The idea of invasion of the body snatchers or joking around about the fact that aliens might take over, although that's not really a joke to me, when I'm saying that, I'm seriously saying it. Imagine an alien force actually taking over the entire world. Do you actually think there's anything you're going to be able to actually do in that moment to stop it? No. No, there's not. Because this life force is going to be far superior than ours. And there's not going to be anything we can do. I know we might all think that we understand technology and we might understand AI, but not to that degree. So I got to tell you, when that happens, don't you want to get everything done before everything goes wrong? Shouldn't we want to get everything done? Isn't the idea of why not today that we don't leave off today for tomorrow, that we get things done? We tell our mom we love them. You tell your husband and your wife and your kids and your best friend and your neighbor. You treat people kindly. You know what Father Ford talked about in church yesterday on the 5th Easter Sunday? Now this is after Easter. If you're Catholic, you know what I'm talking about. Loving thy neighbor, treating others with kindness, resonating kindness. And when he was saying that yesterday in parish, I was sitting there listening to him, and it really did touch me because it just made me recognize the importance of kindness and how I want to be kind. I want to treat others the way I want to be treated. And that is not always the case, but I'm going to do everything I can to try to make everything better. And that is the idea of why not today. What are we waiting for? What are you waiting for? Get things done when you can, because you might not have the time to do it later. That's the idea of why not today. Moving on from the mantra, let us get to the tea. Sipping the tea, sipping the tea, sipping the tea for you and me, sipping the tea. And I did have tea, but I was drinking it at work. And it was green tea. And it was great. So let's get to it. We're drinking this hot.
Grandmama.
Oh my God. I'm on a podcast. Oh my God. He's always interrupting me in the studio. Yes, I have a podcast studio. Yes, because I am a podcaster, and every podcaster should have a studio. Skip came in and interrupted me with a word that doesn't have anything to do with the tea. But let's get to the green tea. That's hot. Sipping the tea, sipping the tea, sipping the tea for you and me, sipping the tea. So, we just talked about procrastination and indecisiveness. And we talked about, I gave an example of what happened in church yesterday with Father Ford talking about loving thy neighbor and kindness and the importance of it. So the first part of the conversation today is treat others the way you want to be treated. And the second part of the conversation is seeing the light in the darkness. Now, treating others the way you want to be treated means you treat people the way you want to be treated, even if they don't do it correctly to you. Sometimes it's difficult to approach things differently than you've experienced it before. There's been so many times where you've had a horrible experience, a horrible environment, and a horrible overall just take at something, right? You had a shitty manager, you had a horrible coworker, you didn't understand the majority of the shit you learned in that class, or that just didn't end up being a good relationship for you in that moment. Okay. But how do we get through things that don't work? Are we going to accomplish things that don't work by projecting the negativity from the failure of what didn't go through correctly the first time? Likely not. I think that we need to find clarity in something we don't know, in a place we haven't been, in an environment that we're new to. Whether you're starting a new job, you're joining a new gym, you made a new best friend, or you're starting a new relationship, right? Or you're going to a different school that you've never been to before. There's so many different environments where you can feel like that. And it's so important when you're in this moment, to treat others the way you want to be treated, right? To navigate an environment that allows you to see things the way it should be seen. If you're rushing and you're not taking your time, if you're not acting the way you want to actually act in a moment, is that really going to help you? Projecting negativity and cruelty is not always the answer, even when people are negative and cruel to you. I can't tell you how many times I've had really shitty, horrible people in my environment, whether they're horrible, bitchy managers or horrible, bitchy family members, whatever the case may be. And regardless of that, regardless of that negativity, regardless of that fear, regardless of the hatred and the envy and the malicious behavior, regardless of all the things that people attempted to do to me, I'm still here smiling and laughing and enjoying my life carefree. And you know what? We should all do that. We shouldn't allow this negativity to cloud our ability to actually be happy. And I refuse to be miserable because other people want to be. What does that have to do with me? I refuse to be mad or mean because other people are mean to me. And I get caught in this moment all the time where I feel like I'm fractured and I'm trying to fix myself to make someone else happy in a moment. And that's not the answer. I can't run to try to change myself to make others happy. And I can't deny the person that I am to try to tweak to fix something that might be broken. That's what I'm recognizing. That to be exceptional, you have to recognize how amazing you actually are. And when you're amazing and exceptional and successful, you should resonate that. And even if you're struggling and you're not exactly where you want to be on your journey, in your life, on your own timetable, you still need to represent something better. You still need to replicate something great. And you still need to be good in the mix of the chaos. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it sucks. But we need to do it. We've got to be better about it. And if we want to actually be successful, we need to maybe be a bigger person than the smaller people around us that want to be negative and bitchy and cruel and facetious and ugly and horrible and like a nightmare, like demons. No, we need to find God maybe. Maybe we need to embrace the light of Jesus Christ or embrace the light of whatever you believe in. Now, I'm a Catholic and I am a firm believer in Jesus Christ. There is only one king and his name is Jesus. I will say that. But if you don't, if you're Indian, if you're another religion, then give your light to that, whatever that religion may be. If you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're Baptist, right? Whatever your religion might be, give your light to that and recognize when you treat others the way you want to be treated that you're always going to have a great experience. There's just that. Next part of the conversation. The light and the darkness. There's always darkness around us. Recognizing the light and that darkness is persevering and pushing into the darkness and being the light. And I know that is not always easy. I had a very strange but beautiful yet scary, fearful experience within the last year. And it really led me to this place where all I did was question myself, right? Do I really know how to do this? Do I really know how to do that? Am I good at this? Am I good at that? I was questioning myself in these moments. But here I am on the other side of the storm. And I got to tell you one thing. When you're in the mix of the crazy and the chaos and the insanity and the dark, sometimes you can't see that light. Sometimes every day it just feels like it's the same dark. It's the same corner and it's the same nothing. That no one can save you, no one can hear you, and nothing's going to get better. And you just feel like your entire world is fading from your hands and your fingertips. And you feel like you're in the nothing of darkness. And the hollow of the ethers of nothing. Where no one can hear you scream. And no one can hear you cry. And no one can hear you beg for air. Because there's nothing there. There's no way out of nothing because it doesn't exist and you can't see it. So when you're in that hell, that realistic hell, that hole with no ending that you can't remember how you got into, it's essential that you become the light you need to get through it. It's essential that you let go of negativity and bad things. It's essential that you recognize who you are in moments that matter more than anything. Because the only way you get through the darkness is by being the light. The only way you get through the difficulty is by going through it. We are the light in the darkness. And the darkness can't defeat us because we're bigger than it is. And we will always be. And I often get lost in stupid moments with stupid things that don't actually matter. And it's okay to learn and move on and not take life so seriously. And to breathe. And take it one moment at a time. And actually live. Being the light is a beautiful experience. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced before. But when you know you're the light and you feel like you're the light, you're the light. I'm the light and so are you. Let us light up the world together, brothers and sisters. Let us be the better, brighter things that we're supposed to be every day and every moment in every way. And I promise you, you will feel your life change for the better. I promise you, you will see things that you didn't see before. And I promise you that you will have a better overall experience than you've ever had in your life. Because when you are that light, when you are that different, nothing can stop you. You only have everything to look forward to. Because you're the hope. You're the optimism. You're the energy. You're the light. And you can't be stopped. I see that light in you. And I say this at the end of the podcast every day. I know you see that light in me too. Resonate it. We got to change this world we live in. We got to make it a better place to live in. That's the T. Resonate your light, stars. Moving on from the T to the main part of the conversation. Let's get to the main part of the conversation, which is, so last week we were talking about mortgages or renting versus buying and what's the smartest thing to do and the actual numbers and inflation and a bunch of stuff. And maybe you're like me. Me and Skip have a lot of these like logical conversations where we discuss things happening in the world, right? Like money, right? Especially in America, because we live in America and we're Americans. And as much as I love Italy and I want to move there, I don't have my passport for Italy right now. And in order for me to get my European passport, I got to figure out like my great nan's stuff and to get my passport in Ireland so I could have my EU passport so I could potentially move to Italy at some point. I don't know how that's going to work out, but at some point one day I do want to retire there. I want to retire in Sicily, so we'll see what happens. But when it comes to moving and your life and what you're paying and does it make sense or not, I've come to this conclusion. And maybe this is why we haven't gotten a house yet. Maybe this is the reason we haven't jumped through all the hoops to buy one. Now, me and Skip definitely make a decent amount of money together, so that's not the problem. We definitely have decent credit. That's not the problem. We've just been reluctant to do it, honestly. And now we're in this place where Skip said something to me the other day during one of our, very entertaining conversations that we've had. And here it was. Would you rather pay rent to the bank or to the apartment you're renting out, right? Either way, you're paying rent. It's either monthly, it's yearly. In the case of a house, it's like a 30 yearly. If you can pay it off smarter, maybe you can get rid of it in 10 years, right? There's a 10-year or 15-year plan. If you really focus, you could probably pay it off in 10. Like, how do you want to do it? And when you actually look at the numbers, when you actually look at how this goes, I think mortgages are a lie entirely. I think that America created this fandom idea that there's an American dream where people buy houses and they live gloriously in these houses, but they spend this ridiculous amount of money on these pieces of shit that don't actually have any value, because the moment you buy it is the moment shit starts going wrong. And I'm not saying that you can't have a great experience in a house. It's a great thing to do, but you're going to be spending how much money a month at what interest rate for how many years? Is that worth it? I don't think it is. I think that it's all a lie. I think that they've convinced us that, a mortgage is better paid to a bank than you paying your monthly rent. And it's the same thing. Only a mortgage is kind of a ripoff. Because are you actually getting the actual value for the house that you're buying? Is it worth the money you're paying for at a ridiculous interest rate? I'm not sure. I'd say no. Here's what you should be doing. Maybe buying is a sink or swim. And maybe they're convincing people that buying is the smart thing to do, but maybe it's not. Maybe you should rent and have more free cash. Maybe you should not invest your money in something that's not going to be worth it. Now, this also leads me to my original thought about cars, but I had to get a newer one, so I'd rather have a newer car and not throw all my money into that than what so many other people are doing. But it's so easy to get caught up in, I don't know if I want to pay my landlord, or I don't know if I want to pay the bank landlord. It's both a landlord. It's not yours. And I said this last week. You're ending up buying a house, paying it off, and enjoying it for not a long time before the money has to be taken out of the house to pay for your 24-hour care, for you to be in a 24-hour facility because you're going to die. And in order for that to be paid for, that money has to come from somewhere. It's called a So it's got to go to a nursing home, or it's going to have to pay for a home visiting angels. It's going to be one of those two things. And it's crazy. You end up overpaying, and you end up getting something. Do you really care about it? I don't know. That's the question. I do think mortgages are a lie, and I do think that they placate it into people's inability to look at it long term. And I'm not saying that me and Skip are right about everything, but maybe, just maybe, if you're really going to be buying something, buy it cash. Just buy it cash. Save your money up, right? Try to win the lottery. Save up as much money as you can so you don't owe the bank anything. Because why would you want to pay the bank? That's the question. I think we need to think smarter about houses and how we live and like the price of everything else around us. The car insurance is ridiculously priced. Why am I spending so much on car insurance and I don't get into car accidents? Why am I spending so much for car insurance? I'm spending more on car insurance because other people don't fucking have it. That seems like a ridiculous insult to me. And it's very infuriating, but okay. It's maddening and it's upsetting, honestly. But moving on from the fact that the mortgage lie is basically a lie. Not all designer is good because a lot of designer things are cheap and they don't last long and they look really crappy. Like, what happened to Vera Bradley? I don't know, question mark. What happened to some of these other designers? Like, I don't know, like everybody likes these bags that say the tote bag. And I'm just not feeling them. Like, I don't know. I have all these Michael Kors bags, and probably people will make fun of me because I have Michael Kors. Like, Skip is literally like, I'd never wear Michael Kors. And the reason I like Michael Kors is because it's cheaper. That's why I like Kate Spade. I like this shit because it's cheaper. And maybe I don't want to walk around with my Louis Vuitton shit all the time. I like it, but we live in 2025, and people want to steal shit. So I can't actually bring my real Louis Vuitton with me when I'm going somewhere, right? Outside of maybe doing some glam walking, like maybe in that instant, but I can't bring my expensive Louis Vuitton bag with me to work. I'm not doing that, right? I'm not going to bring my Chanel bag or if I have Balenciaga or anything really expensive to work. Am I? No. Right? You're going to bring your Fendi, your real Fendi to work around other people. I wore my North Face to this one job I had, and they took my North Face. And it was real, but they took it. Somebody stole it. Stole my real North Face. I don't really trust people. But some designer things are shitty. Like Eddie Bauer, not that good. Coach, horrible. It's just shitty quality. Just the tote bag, I'm not seeing it. Like, I don't like it. I don't know. There's something about the MK that I find attractive, or the Michael Kors. Yeah, I just like the design of it better, and I like Kate Spade because it makes me feel like sophisticated New York. That's why I like it. I have all this designer shit, and like I wear it, and I like designer things. Like I like YSL, I like Fendi, I like Ferragamo, I like nice shit, right? But I'm not really feeling the tote bag. It's just everybody has it, and like I know it's not that expensive, and my husband's like, yeah, it looks okay, but everybody has it, so it kind of makes me feel like I don't want it. That's kind of like why I like Michael Kors, because everybody's just like, it's cheap and they hate it, and I just keep buying it. First of all, I'm an elite Michael Kors member, and I have special deductions, and I'm on a special Michael Kors club because I like the products. Not only do I have the bags, but I do have the shoes too, and accessories, and overall, I do like the quality, and I've had them for a couple of years now, and they still look pretty decent, like I just got them yesterday. So I'm just going to say that. Kate Spade, too, she's really great with quality, but real designer isn't cheap. Like Ferragamo and Fendi are really like, it's not cheap. Christian Dior, not cheap. Like you want quality items. Like my Fendi and my Chanel and my Louis Vuitton, this is like pristine condition. Like if I sell it, I'm getting top value. Of course, I'd never sell it because any real Barbie girl knows not to sell her nice shit. So I'm keeping it forever. But not all designer is good. And you really don't want designer things if everybody else is wearing them. You got to really like pick and choose like what you're getting. I do think that there's so many really cool unique things are hard to find, so you really have to spend your time finding them. We are what we eat. So when we complain about being fat and overweight and unhealthy and you don't like diabetes and you don't like the way you look and you feel like your face is too fat, well then maybe your ass needs to get a gym membership. Better yet, maybe you need to get my trainer Leah. Call her, she's available. Maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you look like. Maybe you need to eat better. Maybe you need to work out. Maybe you need a new moisturizer. Maybe you need a new designer to wear for clothes. Whatever the case may be, moisturizer or the gym, you are what you eat. So if you constantly eat McDonald's and you constantly eat shit that has full of salt and carbohydrates and you never drink water and all you do is drink juice and sugar, then you're going to look like that. Right? If you don't use quality items, it's going to resonate that you don't use quality items. Pretty obvious. But pretending like you are what you eat, which is why I kind of sort of don't know if I want to eat as much meat as I've been eating. Part of me wants to seriously do vegan or vegetarian just because, not because I don't think high protein, less carbs can't be effective, just because I feel like I do better with my body when I don't consume as much meat. I feel like overall my body does better with less meat in it. So that's a determination I'm going to have to make for myself. It's difficult, though, when you're not the only one there and you have to do things with someone else. So it's kind of difficult trying to determine what makes it easier when you're not. Get away. Dude. When you have to share, because like I like being vegan, but if I go vegan I can't go vegan with Skip. I like vegetables, and the only like vegetables he'll eat is like broccoli and like spinach. That's like 2. Potatoes 3. Corn 4. Like tomatoes 5. Yeah, that's like it. Yeah, maybe green pepper sometimes, maybe. But it's difficult. So I don't want to hear people complaining about what they look like or how they feel or a circumstance or environment or green energy or any of that shit. I don't want to hear any of the complaints when you're bitching about everything. Now, see, I'm bougie. I'm not going to complain about anything. First of all, I like furs. First of all, I like expensive stuff. Second of all, I drive a German vehicle. That's a gas car. And if it comes to you are what you eat, well, shit, I like burgers. You are what you eat. I like pizza, too. I'm going to eat all those things, of course, in moderation and drink water. But I'm not here complaining or acting like a brat about anything. But I hear a lot of people doing that all the time, and it just makes me feel like, dude, if you're going to complain about stuff, then why don't you become vegan? Why don't you get on board with the vegan brigade and just no dairy, no meat, nothing? Because basically when you're vegan, you have to make everything from scratch because everything has eggs in it. When you become vegan, you become very aware of that very fast, that you literally make everything from scratch. Compatibility or comparison? No, compatibility or compassion. I feel like compassion. But it depends on the circumstance, because compatibility is also important too. You want to be compatible with people and compassionate, probably at the same time. I do think that overall, people in general have a tendency to want everything done quickly and to not actually put the effort and the time into it. And I think that that can be difficult. but we can get through it. To end this conversation before we get into watching things and food, it's important that we talk about this. We give all our power to technology, and we can't complain about AI, and we can't complain about kids not being able to read or do math or hold any cognitive conversation when all their parents did was give them an iPhone. Like, my nephew, Carter, is getting a phone, and he's 10. Why does he need one? I don't know. His dad can't explain it to me, and my mom told me about it, and I don't get it. Like, my best friend's sister got one, and she was 10 too, and I didn't understand that either. Why do these kids need these phones? Who the hell are they talking to? Why are we just giving them technology? We're doing things to generations that shouldn't have been done. And we can't complain about the consequence of those things when we're willingly doing them. We can't complain about AI. I talk about fucking Terminator all the time. But there's so many elements of that movie that we can compare to the reality that we live in, where we could have controlled this if we actually had been paying more attention to AI. But at some point, it's going to take over everything, and we're not going to be able to stop it. And if Elon Musk is correct, the birth rate is too low. If everything that he is saying is right, and there's a lot of people that don't like him, and that's your own accord, and that's your own feelings. I'm not speaking politically here. I'm talking scientist talk. Like Albert Einstein, like smart man speak, okay? We're not going to be able to fix this or control it. We have fucked ourselves over in every way possible. And there is no back button, there is no escape, and there's no getting out of this. So when it all comes down to it and the aliens do come to eat us, we're stuck. And there's nothing we can do about it. And I don't think we spend enough time thinking about the fact that this is going to be Resident Evil times 5. And if you think the zombies in Walking Dead and Last of Us are scary, you have no idea what we're going to experience here. It's going to be far worse than COVID. And you know, when COVID happened, I kind of thought people were going to turn into zombies. I thought it was going to be like some apocalyptic shit. And I was ready for it. But we didn't get there. But with the next thing, it is coming. And we've given all of our power to technology, and no one's been paying attention. So whatever happens, I'm not sure there's going to be a way out of it for us. And that's what's really scary. There is no way out of the Terminator. What's coming for us, we cannot stop. So let's just pray God has a plan to bring us home faster. Moving on from the fact that we gave all our information to technology, and it could be used against us in any moment to target us and really make our lives hell. Let's get to the next part of this conversation. Watching things. So I think I'm going to get into UFC. I do like TNA. And I hope that John Cena beats the shit out of anyone else trying to attack him so he can retire that title. Facts. The Chicago Squad looks pretty good. Back to Pawn Stars. I don't even really know what season they're on Pawn Stars, but it looks good. Jeopardy Masters. I kind of like Jeopardy better than Jeopardy Masters, but Jeopardy Masters is pretty good. You've got all the smartest people in Jeopardy, like, you know, competing against each other. It's kind of fun. Wheel of Fortune. Honestly, at the beginning of it, I wasn't in love with the idea of Ryan Seacrest, but he's doing pretty good. I don't know why what's her name's still there. They need to get a younger girl. They're switching everything, but she's still there because she won't go away. It's definitely strange. Suspect. Murder by Medic. That sounds very interesting. And Defenders. I'm still watching. Gangs of London. And yesterday's episode of Last of Us was pretty good. It really provided a in-depth detail to what exactly happened in the last couple of episodes. And the Sunday edition of Mobland came on, and the wife again pissed me off. Both of the wives again have just made me so mad. I can't. Anyways, it's Monday, so there's wrestling, and it's Monday, and it's on right now. Moving on from the wrestling, let's get into eating. For lunch today, I had P.F. Chang's, and it was fire. For dinner tonight, we had taquitos, and those were good too. We are going to be eating more on a budget instead of wasting all our money on takeout because we've been spending way too much money on that, so we're getting back to a budget there. Keto blueberry cheesecake mousse. Sheetpan cake. I don't know about that, but I try it. Grilled chicken skewers. Delicious. Taco salad. So basically a taco salad is everything that would go into a taco, but you turn it into a taco. So you got your lettuce as the base. You do either chicken or beef or shrimp, and you do whatever you would put in a taco. For me, that would be like pico de gallo, a tomato, cheese. Obviously, I would want to put some onion in there. I would want to put some jalapeno in there, some sort of taco sauce. Fire. I just think, how can you go wrong with that salad? Doesn't that sound delicious? Outside of the fact that taco salad sounds like something I want to make. BLT dip. Who doesn't want bacon, lettuce, tomato, and a dip? Skirt steak tacos. So basically, you sear off your skirt steak, chop it very finely, put it into a hot pan. The pan has to be like scalding. Then you put the meat in there, and you want it to go shh. That's the sound you're looking for. Tofu salad. I don't really know what that is, but maybe. And chickpea salad. I really want to start eating more chickpeas. Honestly, I do. My friends, thank you for tuning in to this long extended edition of Born to Be a Star. Brothers and sisters, you, me, us, they, and them. Not only are we going to save America by telling Canada that they can still kick rocks. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the Canadian people. I'm talking about the Canadian government, which I don't like at all. I don't like the idea of a government having power over people to make their lives hell. Not only do I not like it in Canada, but I definitely don't like it in any other part of the world either. I think that this is the world for the people, and that the governments need to recognize that, or they need to get replaced. Who exactly do they work for anyway? Do they not have a body that they're supposed to represent? There's a lot of shit that needs to go on with that. Not only do we have America to save, but we've got the planet to save, because we're the beginning, the middle, and the end. Omnipresent, just like Jesus Christ. You can disagree with me if you want, but I know I'm right. We are the light in the darkness, and the one thing that defeats that darkness is us, the light. We talked about that earlier. I see that you are a star wherever you are, and I hope that you see that I am too. Together, we are going to change the world. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good night. Thank you for tuning into this Monday edition of Born to Be a Star. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.